I'm so glad you're here this week. I'm so very glad that you're here this week.
Why?
I'm over the moon because I have a lot of bad things to say about Mortal Kombat.
Oh, geez. Okay, that's fair. I do too, though.
I'm very glad that you're here to help me do that. So, welcome back, everyone, to the Rage Select podcast. Here, Rage Select. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Sub-Zero. I mean, Mike.
Don't you mean Sonia? We'll get to that.
They did her dirty.
So I last week I had a lot of thoughts about Nobody, and Chris had thoughts about Mortal Kombat because he literally watched it right before he came over here, and I was like, I will be back next week. So I'd like to preface this part of the Rage Select podcast by saying, if you liked Mortal Kombat, you're cool and fine in my book. You do whatever you want to, but if you are a person who gets mad when other people take a dump on a movie you liked, you should maybe just skip forward until you start hearing about Ratchet and Clank, because
That's true.
Michael, I thought this movie was fucking atrocious.
It's bad.
I'm being 100% no joke, no sarcasm, no internet lying here. I would rather watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation because that's so bad it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
This was just boring and plotting, and I seem to remember reading these reviews where they were like, well, the fights were good. I'm like, the fights were not good.
No, they're not.
The whole series is about fighting, and every person has their own style, and it's like, okay, you guys did some kind of fakey fatalities in there, and everybody had to look at the camera and fucking say Kung Lao wins, and I'm like, great, fucking, this is not what makes Mortal Kombat fun, you guys.
The editing on the fights is really, really bad.
It was so.
That's why I was surprised by everyone. They're like, the fights are great. I'm like, what movie were you watching?
I'd rather go back and watch the original Mortal Kombat. In fact, as soon as I got done watching it, I put on the original Mortal Kombat, and it instantly crystallized in my mind the problem with this new Mortal Kombat movie. Okay. Actors do what they're told. They read the lines they are read, and if they read a line badly, it is the director's job to make sure that they do another line read. But I hated everybody in this movie. Here's the thing: it is a huge ensemble cast, full of people. Every one of them has their own personality trait from Mortal Kombat, right? You don't have time to really go into any of it because They try Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but it's just they spend 10 minutes at the beginning setting up Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but that's not what the movie's about.
And then it doesn't really make sense as it goes on.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot wrong with this movie, guys.
And then they bring in fucking new guy McNuberson.
Oh, you mean fanfic OC?
Yeah, with his stupid fucking power and his bad fucking backstory. And they spend a lot of time with him, and I'm just like, why? This could have been
a bad character.
Anybody. And a lot of people, I'm not trying to go after people, but a lot of people on Discord, they were like, Kano is really fun, and I'm like, Kano should not be the fucking best part of Mortal Kombat. Okay,
the thing, yeah. Kano's great in this film, but that's not saying a lot. You're saying that Kano, fucking Kano is the best part of a Mortal Kombat movie is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
But the thing is that none of the actors, they were all just so restrained and dull. Yeah. And I was just like, what?
The only two people that aren't is Kano and Cabal, and that's it.
Yeah. How does Raiden not have any gravitas? It's how did they not even make his eyes shiny enough? How did they not even just turn it's like they put the electricity in Raiden's eyes, and they were like, ooh, that's way too bright. Turn it down to 4. I was like, why?
Yeah, they needed somebody with some bass in his voice, because every time he talks, I'm like, that I could beat up that guy.
Shang Tsung
kind of thing.
was who cares? Shang Tsung is a great character, right? He's a conniving evil wizard. You got the fucking, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. The guy from the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie was fucking great.
His name is really long, so that's fair.
He started the movie with you're next, Liu Kang, right into the camera, and then it's Mortal Kombat. I'm just like, I'm in.
Well,
and this guy, I'm like,
the connivingness of Shang Tsung works because the whole point of Mortal Kombat, the actual tournament itself, is that they're not allowed to fight each other prior to everything to take over the world.
Yep.
This movie doesn't care about that.
Nope.
Shang Tsung's like, I can kill whoever. It's like, why didn't you just kill everybody then?
Right.
Like, they clearly can't fight you, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of the Mortal Kombat tournament then?
Why did he wait for them all to get for it to begin, right? Like, why not just fucking kill that one guy when he's just like having a
just
burger?
douche,
I guess they tried to, and then fucking Jack showed up. By the way, I have a note for everybody that ever wants to write a Mortal Kombat movie or for Hollywood or whatever. You guys know that there was like a whole game and a whole part of the Mortal Kombat mythology where Jax did have arms. Jax had arms for a while.
Had arms for days.
Like, I don't know what to say about it. It's just like
that's a tricky one though, because everyone knows Metal Arm Jax more now, and everyone knows tragic Metal Arm Jax more instead of not tragic Metal Arms Jax.
I thought about it, right? And I'm like, in the beginning, Jax already knows his fucking whatever his fucking Chekhov's superpower, whatever the fuck they called him.
I don't even remember.
And like he's got like really strong arms. In the beginning, you can just have him have like the rings on, and it's like, oh, these are special forces things to augment my attack. And then like once his arms are off, then he's like, oh no, my powers are all gone. And then eventually he fucking kicks in with Chekhov's plot device and like gets like the super arms.
That makes way more sense than what actually happens in this movie.
And as somebody whose favorite character is Melina, Jesus Lord in heaven, like what the fucking fuck did they do to fucking Melina? Why? She just needed to wipe her face off the whole time. Like sometimes Melina has Baraka mouth. Yeah. And sometimes Melina has like sexy regular lady mouth, but then Ichi the Killer monster mouth on the side.
Yeah.
I don't remember a version of Mortal Kombat where she just has fucking... She just put her face into a plate of spaghetti and then didn't bother to wipe it off afterwards.
That's true. Although she got better than Natara then.
Oh God. and not just that, but the Shaolin Temple was dull. Everything was desaturated, which in a franchise where everybody has like a specific kind of color scheme to them did not do you any favors.
Man, the Shaolins, dude. Holy shit, did they do? They did everybody dirty in this movie.
They did. Outworld looks like garbage.
It's a fucking desert.
It's like garbage. It's like they turned the saturation all the way down. I felt like I was watching a black and white movie. I'm like, guys, it's fucking Outworld. Like,
Yeah.
Fucking Shao Kahn comes from here. How are you gonna look? How's Shao Kahn gonna look in? Well, he's gonna look stupid like everybody else. But
they showed like a game model of him. Maybe they'll try to make him look like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it and I was, but you know what? I want to be very, very honest here. I don't give a shit about a lot of things in life, but I really like Mortal Kombat. And so to see somebody fuck up that hard, like I even watched, remember the WB, the
cartoon?
Sub-Zero Scorpion thing? That was fine.
Oh, you're talking about the animated movie?
Yeah, the animated one.
That movie's great.
It was fine. It was fine.
For that Sub-Zero Scorpion fight, it's kind of lame in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather watch that all the live long day than this again.
Oh, the movie's actually really good, though. It has a tournament in it.
Yeah, there's no tournament, guys. What the hell? They really were banking on like, ooh, we're gonna make fucking 40 movies, and I'm like, if you wanted to do it that way, if you wanted your Avengers, bro, there are like a bunch of movies you could have made that just had a couple of the characters in them, right? You could have made the whole fucking Scorpion Sub-Zero like revenge and throw Quan Chi in there, right? You could have made the whole like special forces Sonya and Jax versus Kano and Cabal, right? Have Cabal before he got all fucked up, show that happening. Have Kano before he got fucked up, show that happening, right? Like you could have done that. You could have had you could have had old Shaolin monks versus like the beginnings of Outworld movie, and then you can make your fucking Avengers where they all have to go to the tournament, and I would fucking love that. But it was just like
every character is a terrible version of their game version.
Yeah,
like Sonya gets fucking.
Oh my god,
poor Sonya.
Oh my god,
it's like borderline sexist what they do with Sonya. She's like, I'm super badass. Yeah, but you're not a chosen one.
Right?
Get the fuck out of my face.
Get out of here, little girl.
Get out of here, the one who beat up like half of the cast before we got here, kind of thing. It's like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah. It was no good.
It's bad.
It was no good.
For some reason, Sub-Zero is hundreds of years old.
Yep.
With no explanation.
Yep.
Really?
Like it wasn't one of those things where it was just like that was all right. I'm like, no, that was bad.
The longer I thought about it, because I kept messaging a friend of mine, because he messaged me before I saw the movie about how much he hated it. I was like, and so my expectations were very low when going into the movie, and I still was like, no, this movie's just bad.
I don't get it.
Fucking Goro.
Oh my god.
The fucking outworld champion of Mortal Kombat. The whole reason that they fucking have lost 9 Mortal Kombats in a row just gets fucking annihilated because the main character's literal power, by the way, is plot armor.
Yeah.
His literal power is a set of armor.
Yep.
Goro.
I don't really know what else to say.
Also, Scorpion just sort of happens in this movie for literally no reason.
Yeah,
they're just like, here's the thing, and it's like an assist trophy in Super Smash Brothers.
Oh god,
where he's like, boom, and then Scorpion's here, and then he fights, and he's underwhelming because he doesn't even beat Sub-Zero on his own.
Also, like, I feel like they needed to do like 3 more render passes on Goro because like you could see him.
It's worse on a 4K TV.
It's so bad because
you
just like see where he was digitally inserted.
It's like, guys, I almost paused it on one part, but I was like, no, this is gonna ruin it further.
Yeah,
it's just like consistently, like every time, like every one of my favorite characters that I really love to see in Mortal Kombat, every time they showed up, I was like, that's a bad version of that guy. Mm-hmm. That's a bad version of that guy. Mm-hmm. Liu Kang, that poor motherfucker. He is just this awkward fucking weirdo who's just like, who the fuck are you?
Also, I mean, like, you know, don't get me wrong, that actor could kick my ass, but like when I first saw him, I'm like, how are you like 14? How old are you, dude?
Well,
like
the way he acts too is just really like antisocial, kind of thing. It's like, dude, you're the OG fucking Mortal Kombat champion.
Yeah.
And you're just some bitch.
Well, the thing is that if they wanted to do, in fact, they did in the 95 one. It was like Liu Kang has to go and like discover his power, but instead they took Liu Kang's story and gave it to this other guy, and then Liu Kang just sucks.
He's just there, and he sucks.
Just sucks.
Like 90s Liu Kang could beat up everybody in this movie.
Yeah. Like there's a kind of a point in this movie where everybody's just like, Kung Lao. Kung Lao is the most powerful champion of Earthrealm, and I'm just like, oh no. Oh no.
That's a bad thing,
You guys have fucked up badly if that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I want to say something about Kung Lao, but I don't know how much we want to spoil.
No, we haven't gone too far into the spoiler pool.
But here's the thing about Kung Lao. Kung Lao has character.
Yeah.
And then and everybody, and even then, not all that much.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many issues with every character. Like, so I really like Sonya, except for what they kept doing to Sonya. Jax was interesting for like a second, and then that stopped. That got stupid real fast.
Yep.
Kano has a single laser eye.
Yeah.
For no reason, and I'm going to preface this. I know why he technically has one laser eye.
Yeah,
but that's because he's a cyborg in that game, and he only has one laser eye.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
He's got a laser in it. He's got a cyborg eye with a laser in it.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense in this context.
No.
He should have 2 laser eyes if that's just his fucking power.
Yep.
But
because they invented this fucking plot contrivance, like the audience wouldn't understand unless there was some reason for everybody to be a fucking kung fu super ninja superhero.
Well, it's like a Saturday morning cartoon idea.
Yeah.
Where, like, the chosen ones are given superpowers to do battle in Mortal Kombat. It's like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. These are just people that really are good at what they do.
I tell you what, it would have been fine. It would have been less offensive to me if NetherRealm hadn't have put out like 3 games in a row that like totally did the Mortal Kombat mythology. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little torn on X, but like 9 and 11 are fucking brilliant. And like the cutscenes, I'm never just like, hey, why are they shooting demons with machine guns? That's stupid. Like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like what they would do, I guess.
Here's the thing I love about X is X reveals my favorite thing about X, which is that because Liu Kang is dead and everybody else is dead, the default champion of Earth is Johnny fucking Cage.
Johnny fucking Cage.
And I love that about Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah. It's just the games are so fun. And not even just like, I mean, it's just the story of the games, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Not even just the not even just the gameplay, but the stories are really fun. And I'm like, I would have loved to have seen any of this, but
here's the thing, Mortal Kombat has the best lore of any fighting game. Like, it's the most consistent. I can tell you the entire plot of Mortal Kombat without any issues. Whereas if you ask me how to tell you the plot of Street Fighter, I got to think about that shit. I'm going to be like, wait, Street Fighter, and then there's Alpha maybe, but then there's...
God. Yeah.
Like, it would take me at least 3 days to compile that shit. With Mortal Kombat, I could just tell you right now.
Yeah.
From beginning to end.
Fucking Earth World or an Outrealm or Outworld and Earth Realm. God,
Outworld, Earth Realm.
Yeah,
fucking
it's easy.
all the
you
characters.
got the ninjas. You can just segment them up. You got the Outworlders. You got the ninjas. You got the fucking Shaolin monks over here. You got the special forces guys over here.
I know the entire relationship of Scorpion and Sub-Zero from beginning to end.
Fuck yeah.
And even the weird retcons in the middle.
You know what? It would have been great if they had made a Scorpion and Sub-Zero movie where Scorpion keeps coming back from hell and
fucking with him.
Sub-Zero's blood, his cold blood keeps him alive for centuries. And it's like a fucking Highlander thing where throughout all of history they keep showing up and fighting each other and
Man, I would watch the shit out of that.
Sub-Zero gets married and he feels bad about what he's done, but then Scorpion's now a demon and he's trying to protect his family. Have it shift back and forth where at the beginning it's just the fucking Lin Kuei versus the
Shiryu.
Yeah, the Shiryu, and then have it go back and forth over the years and just kind of travel all over the world, and you're just great. Look, 2 characters, they're mortal enemies, they're locked in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, actually.
Boom! Watch it! Anyway, we've already been talking about this for 15 minutes, and we have a lot of news, so
I just want Sub-Zero's brother to be in it, because he's the coolest of Sub-Zeros.
See what you did there. I don't want them to make any more. Actually, you know what? No,
that's fair.
That's not true. This isn't a Snyder situation. I don't give a shit if they make more of them, but this one made it so that if they're just it's kind of like the Godzilla movies for me, where if they're just hey guys, it's 2024, Mortal Kombat 2's coming out, and I'll be oh well, the first one was trash. I will see how much trash this one is. And I'll be yep, that was trash, all right.
It all depends on who they get to be Johnny Cage.
I just, that first scene, I was watching the 1995 Mortal Kombat. Who directed the 1995 Mortal Kombat? This is one of these things that I've been
the guy who did the Resident Evil movies.
W.S. Anderson?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was his claim to fame originally. It was that one.
Oh,
that's why they kept giving him video game movies over and over again. Really?
I did not know that. But no matter what you have to say about about
he didn't come back for the sequel.
No matter what you have to say about Paul W.S. Anderson and him fucking making 1 billion movies with his wife shooting zombies, you watch that movie and you could just see in the way that they shot that movie that you had somebody who had a fucking idea what they wanted to do.
Oh, it's a team effort. I've read the entire backstory into how that movie got made, and it's fucking crazy.
The whole scene where Johnny Cage comes in and they open up those fucking hangar doors and they've just got that shot with the big thing of light. He's in silhouette. He walks up to those guys. He has this fight, and then it's cut, and then they stop. And it's oh, it's a movie. He's Johnny Cage. All right.
The whole this is the part where you fall down is a great little thing.
Yeah. Or when they go to the boat that looks like garbage now, but they go to the boat and there's that scene where Kano is sneaking onto the boat and the light goes past him and it's just his eye is glowing and there's these sparks for no reason. But it's hey, that's that's a good shot, right? Whereas here I'm just it was all blurry and nasty and I hated it. So.
Well, the other thing is every fight in the original 95 one is actually done by those actors.
Yeah.
I remember hearing reading some of the stuff they all hurt themselves doing half of those things.
Just go watch it. It's on Peacock. You can watch with ads. Anyway, all right. Let's move from bad stuff to good stuff.
Yes. Sure.
Today as of recording this, we had a state of play. It was just a Ratchet and Clank state of play with a few things added on. We got a trailer for the Subnautica Absolute Zero or whatever it's called, Below Zero. Below Zero. Which I thought I think this went into early access on the PC, and I think I wanted to play it at one point, but my computer was too shitty for it.
That sounds right. That was the thing about Subnautica is it was this very intricate looking game.
Yeah.
That if your computer just couldn't do it, we're not playing it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, this is just, it looks like more Subnautica. Actually, that's not true. It doesn't look like more Subnautica because there's other characters. They show a part where there's other people that there's a story going on, which I get the feeling there might have been a story in the original Subnautica, but I never got that far.
I don't really remember. I know it was free for a bit. I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah. We also got a brief trailer for Among Us is coming to PS4 and PS5. There's a Ratchet skin for it. It's fine.
Good for those guys, though.
Another place to play it.
They went from having like very little people playing to like now every fucking person wants to play this thing.
That's true. And then from there we got like 30 minutes of Ratchet and Clank, or like 20 minutes of Ratchet and Clank. Whatever the new one's called, I can't remember what it's called. Into the
Rifts Apart.
Rifts Apart. Is that what it is? And Rift Apart. It looks really good. Like, Michael didn't get a chance to watch this whole thing.
No, I did not.
But I did. I watched through the whole thing, and like, they kind of had some stuff where they were talking about how they're
Look
using
how fucking pretty that is, by the way.
Yeah, they're using the PS5 to like very much have a lot of particle effects, a lot of like stuff in the background. Like Ratchet has like little individual furs on him. Yeah. Everything blows up real nice. We already know kind of about the portal stuff. There were a few things towards the end that I was kind of interested in. Like they did show that they're going to have like Clank dimensional puzzles.
Oh.
They showed a section where you went into a separate, like a pocket dimension, so a little like mini game thing. There was it appears that they're going to have some slightly larger worlds. Like the Ratchet and Clank games have always been, they're not like on rails levels.
Yeah.
Because there's always stuff to explore and find. This mostly though just looks like the best, like Ratchet and Clank, but like awesome. I mean, just like if the CGI movie was a game and you could play it, that's what this would be.
This is the thing. It's one of those games that definitely is like, this is some next gen shit.
Yeah.
Looking at it, like the more I look at it, the more I'm like, fuck, this thing is pretty as hell.
Yep. And I don't know, like really how much more to say than that. I mean, I like everybody already knows I'm super goddamn psyched that Ratchet and Clank is coming back. I hope they make like 5 of them this generation instead of 1.
Because the last one they made was that PS4 movie tie-in remake, and that's like it's not bad. Like it's a fine game, but it was just kind of weird that was the only thing they made.
Yeah. They talk a little bit here about like there's a lot more traversal mechanics. There's like air dashes and wall running and like grapples and stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the whole thing just looks, I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes to think of something new to say about just like, this looks like a really fucking awesome 3D platformer.
Yeah. It looks fucking fantastic. Everything, God, just looking at it, this is pretty.
Yeah.
Like this looks like it would be a pre-rendered cutscene and damn near anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically where we are. They kind of showed a little bit later on of Rivet, I believe is the Lady Lombax's name.
Oh, okay.
Who seems like in the beginning she kind of gets hooked up with Clank, so it's her and Clank. A lot of there were they did show a few of the weapons. One of them was this foliage gun that like makes the enemies turn into a bunch of leaves that you can then scatter.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh no, that was like a turret that you throw down and then it turns them into foliage.
Oh, okay. That's the best thing about Ratchet and Clank is the weird shit that you can get in throughout the game.
Mm-hmm. All the different weapons, upgrade all the different weapons a million times. And they also talked a little bit about how the haptic feedback. It's funny because I feel like I've been playing Nier, and it doesn't like it's been a while since I've played a PS5 game.
Oh, okay.
That had the adaptive trigger, haptic feedback, all that stuff. I like that stuff when it's in there. They talked a lot about how pulling the trigger on the weapons, each one of them will have like a half pull attack and then like a full pull.
Well, that's interesting.
Which if they use a little bit of resistance, right, that could work really well because you wouldn't have to worry about accidentally pulling. Like it wouldn't be like trying to pull a PlayStation 3 controller trigger halfway and then be like, fuck, I did it again.
Well, it's that thing where, like, because I didn't know this for years, was the Metal Gear Solid 3 holding somebody hostage thing. Mm-hmm. So if you hit the button all the way down, he's just going to slit their throat.
Yep.
And I didn't know that. So everybody I talked to, their throat was just gone every single time.
Yep. I think that was a face button, though, wasn't it?
That was the circle button.
Yeah. So that had the pressure circle buttons.
And I didn't know that, at all. So I just kept holding it down. Like that river was covered in people.
Those poor guards. Jeez. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank. looks fucking great. It's gonna have photo mode. Everything they have fucking photo mode.
It looks great.
I think it looks absolutely fantastic. From there, we also had a conference where, for Monster Hunter, where they showed Monster Hunter Stories 2 and some of the new stuff coming to Monster Hunter Rise. We got a brand new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories 2. Michael, would you like to take it away? I don't really know that much.
I don't really know much about Monster Hunter Stories, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, the main plot seems to be that there's a Rathalos that gets born that can't fly.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of different people go out to go find this thing, but it's also being chased down by nefarious doers as well. And also, I guess it's part of maybe a prophecy for Wings of Ruin or something. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Like, I never played the first Monster Hunter story, so...
Well, you got it mostly right. They talked in this about how it was like, you're going to start, you have this Rathalos, there's like these hunters there's like beast riders and then hunters, and the hunters are like hunting you and the Rathalos, and then like eventually maybe you team up.
Like, there's a lot of cool monsters that show up in this that I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Like Lavinus, I almost said Beetlejuice. I can't remember his name.
Don't say it 2 more times.
Something Geist. I can't remember his name. People just call him the annoying one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on in it, and they've made some more amiibos for it. So, like, if you guys like the first Monster Hunter stories, I think you'll like the second one a lot.
The thing I thought was really interesting was at this point, I think I kind of complained a little bit last time that we saw this, where I finally saw what the combat looks like. Where you walk around and then you go into like a turn-based action mode.
Yeah.
So,
because it's an RPG. That's the thing about the Monster Hunter story game, and it's this more like SD kind of character look, as well as the monsters being a lot smaller than they would be normally to the people size.
Oh yeah. So it looks like you're gonna have like you and then like your monster, and then you fight other monsters. They've got like kind of like rock paper scissors thing. You can also apparently like I think the way the multiplayer is going to work is that you can like summon your friends' characters with their pet monsters into your game.
Okay.
So you have you and your monster, and then you can have up to a party of 4 with the other person and their monster.
Oh, nice.
So to kind of like simulate multiplayer.
That's really cool.
There's like build-ups. You can target individual parts that eventually you can do like these team-up attacks that can specifically destroy certain pieces. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. I mean, like, I don't know. We don't have time to go over every single little thing in detail. I gotta say, as somebody who's got like a toe dipped into Monster Hunter, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I think it does a lot now that I've hunted all of these monsters to be like, oh, that's that one asshole.
Oh, okay.
Look, that's that other asshole. Like, I don't know any of their names, but I'm like, yeah, I fucking kick that guy's ass.
Yeah.
Kick that guy's ass too.
I could use that guy as a crazy rider.
Yeah. So we had that, and then we also had the Monster Hunter Rise 2.0 title update that's going to be putting in, what, alpha monsters?
Or the Apexes?
Apex monsters, yeah. Apex Rathalos, Apex, I think I said Apex Magnamalo, and they're going to be available outside of the Rampage. And
okay.
Specific quests to fight them. There's 2 or 3 new monsters. You see, there was a chameleon one, and there was like one of the dragons.
I can't remember their names, but off the top of my head, especially the chameleon one.
Yeah,
but I think there are more elder dragons that they've added.
There's Teostra, and then what was this one?
The Kushaladora?
Yeah,
that fucker. That a windy asshole.
Who's this guy? Chameleos.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, goddamn. It was just a fucking Pokemon name. I got to come up with that. I could have named that. Hire me to name your dumb dragons, Monster Hunter.
I remember him being kind of annoying the hunt when he first came out.
Can you imagine if, like, 3 weeks from now, I'm just like, so listen, guys, this is going to be the last Rage Select podcast. It turns out they do want me to move to Japan and name all the dumb monsters. So I'm going to be
after Mortal Kombat characters.
They were just like, we're tired of being yelled at, so you come over here and you name them, and then people can yell at you. And I'd be like, all right, we'll do that. Yeah.
This one's called the Jerk Store.
It just picks up a phone halfway through the fight and it just points at your character. Oh my god. Yeah. So it's interesting because there's a lot of stuff. They talked about how in May there's going to be a 3.0 update that's actually going to add post in-game single player stories.
Yeah, there are people who have already like plowed through the entirety of it.
Yeah.
Who are just like, where's the end game content? It's like, guys, you fucking did 500 hours in like a couple weeks. Fucking slow your roll.
Well, it's funny because I mean, like, I beat all the single player stories. I didn't beat all the hub quests, but I beat all the single player stuff, which was not the worst thing in the world.
I haven't fucking got around to it still.
It's not super difficult, but it's interesting though is I was thinking about it and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't realize this, but like Monster Hunter is just a fucking games as service game. Like
it's very similar to one.
You know, they want you to be online. They want you to be playing with other people. They want you to be fucking get to the end game and then do the end game content over and over again to get the things you need, right? Like you're grinding for fucking perps, man.
It's very similar to that sort of concept, except they've always been really good about making everything free the whole way through.
Aha! Great transition, Michael. It's not anymore.
Really?
Well, so I was looking at all this and I was like, how the fuck are they going to pay for this? Like they're making all this content, man. So it turns out that there's going to be like first things first, you can edit your hunter's appearance.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're doing the vouchers again.
First time's free. The rest will cost you, which I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah, they did that for World as well.
Yeah, new hairstyles, new voices. You can get the guy in the fucking chief, village chief, and then the one lady, Fugen and Minoto. It said it right there on the screen. I don't know.
It's funny because like I said that, but I keep forgetting that World has a lot of DLC in it.
Yeah.
I bought the Hadouken on the shore. You can.
There's also going to be layered armor, gestures, stickers.
Yeah, layered armor.
Yeah, layered armor. I'm very happy about. But you can buy new stickers. You can buy new gestures. You can buy different stuff. So they are going to have basically a microtransaction store where you can buy different stuff. Which I mean, that's I don't like. That's the least. That's the least irritating way to do it. Like,
honestly, a lot of it's just stuff that you'll probably never use. Like right now, there's a DLC pack out right now that's a bunch of gestures and stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy any of it. I think I bought one thing, and it was this little mask thing I wanted for my character, and that's it.
I mean, like, it's Nintendo, and no matter what else you have to say about Nintendo, I feel like they aren't as big of assholes about post-game content stuff as a lot of other companies are. So,
yeah, Capcom puts a lot of work into these Monster Hunter games, so
yeah,
pretty excited.
So yeah, that was Monster Hunter. I can actually, you remember like previously on the podcast before Rise came out, I was just like, all right, so Monster Hunter happened. I don't give a shit. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing with the change. You're like, let's talk about Monster Hunter for a while. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Man, I got a lot of spreadsheets full of near bullshit to finish now, and like Returnal's coming out, Like, Michael, that's the thing is that I feel like my friends still haven't internalized. It's like, oh, Jeff really likes this game. And I'm like, yep, for like 1 week and 4 days.
No, that happens.
I do not give any more shits ever again about it. Unless it ends with souls or gear or man.
What ends with man?
Hitman.
Oh, Hitman. Okay.
The Hitman.
Took me a second. Turns out it was man.
It was man. So, yeah, all that was good stuff. Let's see. From there, we got we're not totally done with Monster Hunter just yet. There's actually a poll that got put out by Famitsu asking people like about their preferences in Monster Hunter in Rise, and when they got to the bottom, the last question was like Palamutes or Palicos, and apparently it was 70% Palamutes.
Oh geez.
So
yeah, the Palamutes are fucking rad.
I mean,
you can ride them.
Palicos, they're all right. They'll grow a tree while you're fighting Rathlos, but like Palamutes will like let me chase that motherfucker down before I can even get to the next area. Like I the first thing I do in those missions is put call Palamute on my D-pad up, and then I never fucking change it the entire time. So
yeah, Palamutes are a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, dogs are rad. No offense.
That helps too. Yeah,
but dogs are rad. Speaking of dogs, Neil Druckmann came out this week talking about how they've got an idea for Last of Us 3. And this is not necessarily they're going to make Last of Us 3, but like they've got an idea of where they would like the story to go from here. He was very specific to be like, this is not me announcing The Last of Us 3. We're working on other things. This is the very early concepts.
Why even mention it then?
Fucking Neil Druckmann, man. Like, you know, I don't agree with the amount of stupid irrational hate that the internet has heaped on that man's shoulders, but he is a little bit up his own ass.
That's true. Yeah.
So, you know, he was talking on a podcast.
Okay. So he just brought it up like randomly in a conversation.
It was the Script Apart podcast. He's talking about scripts on a podcast.
See, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Him and co-writer Haley Gross said that they had a story outline for Last of Us 3. So, you know, you heard it here first. Last of Us fans, good news. Maybe next time it'll be 90 hours long and even more of a grim slog into the heart of darkness.
So the plot is they're going to dig up Joel and then just beat him up more. It's just to piss off other people.
I can't believe that they desecrated Joel's corpse in this game. Yeah, take that. We're gonna pee on the fucking. We're gonna piss into the skull of your fucking video game daddy.
Exactly. It's gonna keep making it worse.
How can it get any worse? I hate that game. I get why people like it, but like, man, that shit came out in 2020. I did not need a big spoonful of misery directly into my face hole. It won like 8 things at the fucking VGAs this year.
Yeah,
everybody fucking loves that game. Chris like wanted to fight me. He was just
really?
Thinking, what? I didn't like it. I didn't think the first one was. Anyways.
I don't want depressing. That's just the thing. Yeah, like you're right. 2020 was not the year for this game to come out.
I mean, you know, give me that Resident Evil 3 where I get to shoot infected people. Okay, let's move on. In other PlayStation news, we got a report last week from Earnings Call that said that despite the sold-outedness of the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 has outsold the PS4 in this same time period, the first 6 months, because it has actually been 6 months.
Shit, has
November.
it really been?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
So November, December, January, February, March, April. So
my PS5 is 6 months old.
6 months old. Happy birthday.
Neat.
They've sold...
They grow up so fast.
Did you see it? Did you look at the screen already? Did you see the number?
I can't see that well.
Okay, good. What's the number?
Glasses.
How many PS5s do you think have sold in this horrible nobody can get one world that we live in?
5.
7.8 million.
Really?
Yeah. Sold almost 8 million PlayStation 5s.
How the fuck did that happen?
Well, that's probably worldwide, right?
Still though, 7.8 million of them. I didn't think they had that many.
It's interesting. I'm wondering what's the. I mean, I don't know. You know, Michael, maybe the pandemic will never be over, but like, I'm wondering if like the video game industry is going to try real fucking hard to like keep, because man, they've done well. Like,
they've done really well.
Holy shit! I actually didn't put it in here. I should have, because fair is fair. But there was another thing that said that like Microsoft's earnings have gone up like 400% over the course of 2020. I'm not
surprised by that at all.
Like they've sold every Series X. Well, that means that right, we're still living in a day and age where like you cannot buy a Series X or a PS5.
You can't buy
you can if you're lucky, but like you
I'll
can't
get an
just
email
buy
that's just like, hey, we finally released more, and it was like it's been sold out for all of like 30 seconds.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, good job. I actually like my PS5. I like my PS5
a lot
with it so far.
I've been playing a lot of different games on it. One of the updates finally fixed that stupid issue I had with the PS4.
With the downloading PS4 games instead of PS5 games.
Yeah, so luckily that the newest updates fixed that on mine.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if it gets as much press. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I think it's worth pointing out that like I'm very, very, very happy that both of the new two consoles, are universally backwards compatible.
Yeah,
because like, you know, there was definitely a time in the PS3, PS4 thing where I was moving PlayStations and unplugging this one and plugging this one back in. It's like, no, if it's a PlayStation game, I can play it.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Other PlayStation news. PlayStation Now is actually going to be rolling out streaming, 1080p streaming.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually know this, but all PlayStation Now games are 720p.
Okay.
Just for like bandwidth consideration.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but over the next few weeks, Europe, US, Canada, Japan, where PS Now is available, are going to be getting an upgrade so they go up to 1080p. I want to make absolutely sure that people understand that when I say this, I am not advocating for Google Stadia. But there is a third-party app that I got that, like Google Stadia, you can force it to stream at like 4K or 1440p.
Okay,
which is nice. I don't know. Do you? I know that Chris uses PlayStation now. Have you ever dicked around with it?
I tried it once, but the lag was too much for me. But that was my internet was a lot worse than it is now at the time. I did that when I first moved out here.
Yeah,
because I wanted to play. I think it was Double Dragon Neon before they re-released it, and my 360 was in my room, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this free trial real quick to play Double Dragon Neon. Because it has like all these, all these really good games that are on it, but they're all PlayStation Now related now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this just feels like the reaction time wasn't as good because of what was going on.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know if it's gotten better since then.
I wonder, because I mean, like we were playing, we were trying out Stadia for a couple weeks here at Rage Select, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
it worked fairly well
with a fast internet connection. So I don't know.
The other thing about PlayStation nowadays is that it's similar to somewhat to Game Pass for some of it.
Yeah,
because some games can be just downloaded on it.
I think if it's a PS4 game, you can download it.
Yeah, PS4 and above, and a couple that might be, but I think it's because they're PS2 games that came out on PS4. Some of the ones that are also like that. But all the other ones, like I didn't really, I wanted to like the idea, but it just wasn't working for me at the time.
Yeah. Internet's gotten faster since then. Let's see. In other news, we'll shift over to Microsoft. We got some news that basically Microsoft is really focusing on trying to make Halo Infinite have feature parity and launch. They're planning on getting it to launch on both the PC and the Xbox Series X, Series S1, all that stuff, all at the same time. So unlike previous games, which I believe all of the previous games have had some kind of delay before coming to the PC.
Yeah, the original trilogy, 1 through 3, came out on Xboxes, and they didn't really come out on PC for a long time. Like
I remember 1 was one of it was like you had to have Vista to run it. Yeah, there was like Vista, an INI hack you could do to fucking like.
It was made by It was created by Gearbox for the PC version. And it had an extra weapon at the time that wasn't in the Xbox one, which was the flamethrower.
Oh, okay.
Which wasn't added till Halo 3, if I remember correctly. And then Halo 2, eventually they came out with a version of that. And then Halo 3 didn't come out for the PC for years.
Yeah.
Like they didn't come out with 3 until eventually the Master Chief Collection, honestly.
So they talked a little bit in this article about how like they're going to try to have infinite launch with like ultra wide screen resolutions available, like triple key bindings, which is a thing for PC. Because I think the Master Chief Collection at some point got crossplay, right?
I think so, yeah. Eventually, when they came out with the Reach.
I also didn't know that apparently multiplayer component of Infinite's going to be just free. Like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to have anything for that, and then and that'll work with Xbox's new, like, you don't have to have gold to play.
Yeah, that's actually really cool, actually.
So you just fucking go play some Halo.
Yeah.
Get ready to buy skins. You get ready to buy some skins?
That's probably what's going to happen.
You know what? You remember when the Xbox One launched and how, like, every fucking game had a loot box in it or some kind of bullshit gachapon mechanic in it?
Because 5 had one.
And then they just, like, realized they fucked up and stopped. Unlike EA.
EA fucked it up for everyone.
Yeah.
They really did.
Yeah, because that Panzer or Crimson Dragoon had it, and I don't think Rise did, but I know Killer Instinct have something like that. I don't remember.
No, that one was more like the piecemeal for characters.
So yeah, part of this is also going to be that they want your progress to track evenly over PC, console, and xCloud. So
okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah, kind of cool to be like living in a world where you're just like, hey man, you want to play Halo? You just fucking play Halo wherever the fuck you want to. Like, you want to play it on your phone, you'll play it on your PC, you play on your Xbox,
and you can just be like, hey, PC friend, like, let's play Halo.
Can you imagine like if we did a dojo and we played Halo co-op with one person playing on the TV and the other person playing on their fucking phone?
That would be fascinating.
Like, dude, I think I have one of the brackets so that you can like hook your Bluetooth controller to your phone and then stream via xCloud.
Man, that's tempting.
That's so weird.
We might have to try that later.
I love these ideas that I've been having recently of just like, let's try a bunch of dumb shit. Let me buy an Apple TV. Let's give that a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other really cool news, Microsoft announced that they're basically going to be taking less of a cut from PC games sold through the Microsoft Store.
Well, that's interesting.
So specifically, Microsoft Store PC games are going to be increasing the revenue to developers from 70% to 88%. So instead of taking 30%, they're going to take 12%. Which, fucking good. Like,
yeah, good for them. I mean, the people, the devs.
Yeah.
Microsoft already has a bunch of money, so they probably are like, why are we doing this?
Microsoft's buying all these fucking game studios, and then, you just try to well, it's interesting because I was thinking, it didn't say in the article, but that would be another reason for an indie dev to be like, where do I want to put my game? Well, Microsoft's got this sweetheart deal, and then maybe they'll pay me to put it on Game Pass, and I'm going to go over here. Another weird way that it's I feel like it's strange watching this generation where Microsoft is just making up completely different rules to play by.
They're playing 5D fucking chess.
Yeah,
in the middle of all this, everyone was making fun of them for they were spending money, but it's paying off in dividends.
Yeah. Also, this came with a This came with a poll. A survey to 3,000 game industry professionals that went out recently where 3% of participants said that it's fair for stores like Steam and GOG to take 30% of their revenue. So, would you be cool with that?
Yeah, what the fuck?
43% of responses suggest that 10 to 15% cut is more justifiable. I mean, dude, 30%.
That's a lot.
That's a fucking third, man. Ugh.
Especially with the rising costs in game development.
Yeah. Now wait, Steam actually backed that up a little bit, right? Because they had this whole thing about
after you make a certain amount, they pull back.
Yeah,
I think is what the idea was.
Still, just
because Epic was the one that started that sort of thing.
Fuck, all right, I kind of want people to come at me a little bit about this, but what the fuck does Steam even do? Their review system is a tatters. Their video player sucks. They've got forums embedded for your fucking game. Okay, great.
It's just that idea that they were there first, and so a lot of people's stuff is ingrained in it.
I mean, I'm not this isn't an advertisement for Epic Game Store or anything, because I like the fact that they exist, but they're not really any better. But just
no. Well, that's the thing about PC gaming is you just have to deal with some dumb shit.
Yeah,
as the thing.
Yeah, fuck about your Steam. Let's see. In other money news, Bobby Kotick is taking a pay cut.
Really?
Yes, it was announced this week that he's cut his salary is taking a reduction to $875,000 a year from $1,750,000 a year.
They were paying Bobby Kotick almost $2 million.
Oh fuck yes!
Oh my god!
And that was before the bonuses.
Yeah.
So
he's fine.
No. I had to be really upfront with this. You guys, look. This was part of a Kotaku article, and here the filing notes that under. Well, no, that's the annual bonus cut, meanwhile, is a potential reduction of $1,750,000 for the 2021 to 2022 fiscal years. Look. This is just the reason for this is because he's fucking getting bad press because it keeps being he's the most paid person. Everybody fucking hates him. He's taking a pay cut. Guess what, Michael? He is not taking a pay cut. What they will do is they will juice up the fucking revenue stream back end bonus shit that he gets to cover the 50% cut that he took in his salary. This Bobby Kotick is fucking Satan, all right?
That's true.
He's not giving up his fucking money. What they did was they were just this looks bad. Let us make this thing, and then we'll just be incentives based on earnings potential went up by 40% this year, and that entitles you to your triple-digit bonus of $6 billion, and then they'll give him a $6 billion paycheck.
And then they'll high five. And it just goes from there.
Or they'll pass some stock under the table, or they'll pay some fucking other company, or they'll give his.
They're doing something.
They'll give him the money because this is the thing. Look, I don't want to say that Bobby Kotick, in this Kotaku article, the filing notes The filing notes that under Kotick's leadership, the company's, quote, market capitalization has increased from less than $10 million to over $70 billion, unquote.
Jesus Christ.
Like the valuation of Activision Blizzard has gone up since Kotick has been around that much.
That's what? That can't be right.
Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, man. Like they've got the biggest.
After they got Blizzard, yeah.
They got the biggest fucking hitters in the business, man. Fucking they got.
Don't you guys have phones?
So that's still. I don't give a fuck how much money you make for your company, but also I don't have a dog in this fight. I think it's like,
I don't either.
hey, everybody, we're canceling Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, and we're never going to sell them again. And I'd be like, all right,
very cool.
That's cool.
That's nice, I guess.
Yeah,
that's less games for me to have to worry about.
Yeah. So anyway, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by Bobby Kotick.
No,
he's still getting that money.
He's also already rich as shit.
He's still getting that money. Yeah, he's also Also, he doesn't need any more money.
He doesn't.
They just keep making him work and don't pay him anymore.
Just pay him in loot boxes.
Well, you know what, Michael? Things could be worse. Things could be worse because somebody could try to come to your work to kill you and then kill themselves.
Oh, Jesus.
Which apparently might have happened at the headquarters for, what are they called? Like MiHoYo, which is the company that makes Genshin Impact. Apparently, like, a dude was arrested who, like, bought some knives and, like, went there. And it's unclear. This is all happening in China, but the kind of scuttlebutt seems to be that he was there to fucking stab both of the CEOs and then kill himself. But not because of Genshin Impact.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, why then?
Well, one of the other games that they make is called Honkai Impact 3rd. And apparently they had an anniversary thing where they dressed a bunch of characters up in bunny girl costumes and had them dance around on stage. And apparently people are really mad about that. And I don't fucking have any idea what these words are that are coming out of my mouth. So
I was like, well, why are they mad?
I don't know.
Is it the bunny? Are they offended by bunnies?
That it's like inappropriate for these characters to be wearing sexual bunny outfits.
Maybe they're like 15 or something.
I don't know. I refuse to look into it anymore. All I know is that a guy went there with a knife and tried to kill me.
Either way, it's a bold strategy to show up with a knife.
Well, you know, it's China, right? It's not like you could bring an Uzi.
I guess that's true.
You can't just go to Walmart and buy a shotgun. Yeah.
You got a slingshot with the knife.
In other craptastical news, well, this is kind of like fixing a craptastical. So I don't know if you know this, but a few weeks back, Windows 10 apparently pushed an update that just fucks up gaming performance across the board on all PCs.
Oh my God.
Like if you have, what is the listing? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. If it has led to problems on AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA-based systems.
Oh my God.
So
that's like everything.
Yeah. Apparently it's caused like stuttering and bad frame dropping performance. And right now the suggested fix is to roll back. And actually, now that I think about it, this probably is the reason why I've been having some difficulty with some of my games.
Perhaps.
To roll back, but apparently Microsoft is getting ready to roll out another update to fix just the gaming part. But this has apparently just been like some bullshit. Just fucking like
that's fascinating.
Like it doesn't even matter how like powerful your computer is. It just fucks everything up. So it's nice to see that even in the year 2021, Microsoft is still fucking up PC gaming for everyone.
I do love this news because it just makes my console-ness very happy.
Yep. Just play games on consoles. You don't worry about fucking rolling back Windows 10 updates and shit. No. What you don't have to worry about like did they put out new NVIDIA drivers this week for my fucking video card? Yeah. In other craptastical news, this is we're in the crap tunnel right now.
Oh, Jesus.
This is a huge crap tunnel. There were some internal documents that leaked out from EA this week about FIFA, and it basically showed that it basically was a presentation that was put on that talked about how FIFA 21 is supposed to be like funneling people into the FIFA Ultimate Team mode, which is the mode where you can buy the loot boxes to get the fucking players.
Yeah.
And it was like an internal presentation that was then leaked to somebody in the press. There was also another thing. Let's see. They also talked about how like once soccer comes back after COVID, it's quote, is only going to help us and plans are ready to flex. A spokesperson said that this was all taken out of context and like, yeah, you fucking know what you're talking about. Because there's also another thing that somebody said where they, somebody inside of the document called the in-game currency grind currency.
Oh my god!
Which of course it is.
Yeah, it's
right?
true. Yeah,
but like
but saying it out loud,
they know.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing is what is this statement here? Here's part of the statement that they released. We do not push people to spend in our games. Where we provide that choice, we are very careful not to promote spending over earning in the game, and the majority of FIFA players never spend money on in-game items.
They want them to have that sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yeah.
This is the thing. The thing is, this shouldn't surprise anybody, though.
No.
Especially when it comes to the FIFA games.
Oh, God, yes. FIFA sucks.
FIFA, like,
just the organization FIFA blows.
Yeah, the organization of FIFA in general. But, like, the games themselves, they don't really do much to them.
Yeah.
Every year, they just add more shit for people to pay money into. Especially after what happened with the fiascos. Like people spending like almost their savings just trying to get like specific characters in those things.
Yeah.
Like they don't fucking care. They never did.
100%. They also state, we firmly disagree that FIFA or any of our games involve gambling. I just like, they fucking can't. They're not even bothering anymore.
No, they're
just
not.
like, go fuck yourself. Like, you're not going to play soccer? You're not going to play a soccer game? And it's like, well, eventually... Probably.
We should play that anime soccer game that you guys played.
Oh, fucking Captain Tsubasa?
Yeah.
Man, that game was rad. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would believe anything EA says. They're the ones that came up with fucking surprise mechanics.
Yeah.
And, like, they obviously want to fucking bilk you out of all of your money so that you just keep, like, they're the ones that dragged their feet on that whole, like, some dude at EA is selling Ultimate Team players to people for thousands of dollars thing. Like, if it's if it's such a player choice and we're not funneling people, then why are people paying thousands of dollars under the table to get the fucking guy in the soccer game they want to play?
And
like,
it's so stupid.
They fucking know it. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing.
We know what you're doing. Everybody knows what you're fucking doing. Like, Europe is just like, you can't do that. And they're just like, fuck, we can't. It's like, well, you can't sell your game in the Netherlands anymore. And they're like, go to court. And then, like, the High Court of Europe is like, no, the Netherlands can tell you what you can and can't do. And they're like, we want to appeal to fucking space lasers, or I don't know what the hell.
They don't fucking know it. They want money.
They want the money. Yeah.
EA's been like that for a long time, guys.
Real fucking just greedy sons of bitches. So, you know who else is greedy sons of bitches?
Lex Luthor?
Riot.
Oh, okay.
Riot Games. This is a great story. Riot Games, the makers of are they League of Legends or League of Legends? There was a group that was working on this thing called Chrono Shift, and Chrono Shift was a little indie project by these guys that's sole purpose was to essentially like turn back the clock on League of Legends to various points in history.
Okay.
Kind of a World of Warcraft classic thing.
Yeah.
So apparently Riot finally got involved or finally figured this out, and there's all this Discord logs and stuff. But the thing is that there's this guy named Zed that was a security consultant that was talking with one of the developers on their private Discord server. And he's a real character. What does he say here? You obviously put a lot of work into Chrono Shift, but I assure you that the Chrono Break is coming.
The fuck?
Yeah. He basically said that like they were being directed to essentially hand over or like shut down all of the websites and social media accounts and hand over all the code they've done or else be sued.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Now, this led to the Chrono Shift developers going on Reddit basically being like, Riot Games is trying to extort money or extort the code out of us with the threats of a lawsuit. You know, the comeback for that actually makes a certain amount of sense where they're like, whenever anybody tampers with the code, we try to get that code so that we can see like how people are trying to fuck with our game.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. This whole thing, I mean, like, I don't really have very many. I don't have a Palamute in this fight. Like, this is just between. I mean, I think it's kind of funny that they're so aggressive about this, considering that League of Legends is a fucking Dota, and Dota is a fucking ripoff of a mod of World. I mean, like, it just. Anytime a MOBA thing starts getting weird, you're just like, you guys got to remember that this is based on a fucking mod of another game.
What was the thing with the Battle Royale stuff when like that one guy went kind of crazy, and they're like about the facts like the Battle Royale is like, oh, people keep doing the thing. It's like, yeah, but yours is a copy of a thing and a mod of a thing too, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
None of this is original, guys.
Also, I just don't really like Riot very much as a company. I mean, they had all that kind of bro culture, sexual harassment stuff
100%.
that was going back, and I don't know, just
it's another case of just like being the people that are really popular, and so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. And last but not least, let's get the rest of the poop tube done. I didn't really actually understand exactly what this was because I don't use the Humble store very much. Humble Bundle store.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, Humble Bundle store right now, or I don't even know, by the time this comes out, it may have already changed all the way, but like it used to be that you had a little slider. And so you could choose how much money you wanted to spend, and then you get a little slider that you could slide that you would basically designate like how much goes to Humble Bundle, how much goes to developers, how much goes to charity.
Yeah.
Like you could slide up and down. Humble is taking that away. Basically, it was weird because I didn't understand this. The headlines kept saying like Humble Bundle limits charitable donations to 15%. What this means is that you don't have the slider anymore. You basically can choose the amount of money you want to pay for the game, but a maximum of 15% will go to charity.
Oh.
That's what that cap means. Is that no matter how much money you put in, you can't control how much. Is 15% of what you pay goes to charity, and the
That's
rest
a little weird.
Goes to Humble Bundle or the developers. So
I guess they just wanted more of the money for the stuff, I guess.
So here's the
That's
thing.
Weird.
I read this. I was reading it. I was reading why people had a problem with it, and I was like, okay, that makes a certain amount of sense. However, if I don't know what their stats are, but if the majority of people there are just like, well, I'm fucking buying this because I want to give money to the fucking, Wildlife Foundation. Give all the money to the fucking Wildlife Foundation. Like, if they were hosting this server and providing this service, and they have like a subscription service and all this stuff, and people kept giving the lion's share of money to the charities and none of it to Humble Bundle, who actually has to like make the deals, get the store, have a staff, do support. Okay. I think that this might be a little bit of overcorrection.
It's the cap is, I think, is the main issue. I think.
Yeah.
Like if you could, have it to where the cap is like 30%, like to be a lot more than what that is.
Or if there was a set amount where it was like,
because 15% sounds low to people. Yeah, and that will cause a lot of issues with that sort of idea more.
I think it would work better if they basically like started kind of pricing games where it's like this game is priced and X amount goes to Humble, X amount goes to developer, and then anything else that you pay after that goes to the charity that you want it to go to.
That could work, but the main issue is that also might scare some people from, trying to do Humble Bundles.
True. So, I haven't done one of those in a long time because I used to buy them, and then I was like, all that happens is I buy them, enter a bunch of keys into Steam, and then never fucking play the games that I bought. So
for the most part, that's what most people do with Humble Bundle games.
I mean, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. But when we come back, we got more news, and I think we might even have time for some questions.
Perhaps.
We'll see. All right, stick around. And we're back. And we're not going to talk more about Mortal Kombat.
You guys missed this entire conversation we had mid fucking break.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, we got some more news. So just a quick heads up to everybody. If you're on Steam, if you still have Steam installed, even all the bitching that I've done about it, Steam kicked off their Golden Week that's going on until May 6th, where a bunch of shit's on sale. So, yeah. Death Stranding is 60% off. Devil May Cry is 30% off. Like Kiwami is 50% off. So yeah, go get some Steam games.
Go nuts, guys.
Yeah. In other Steam game news, apparently Nier Replicant is kind of fucked up on Steam.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. Not as bad as Automata, but apparently it's got this problem. This is like this is definitely some fucking like the PC people problems, where it's one of those games where it's frame locked to 60 frames per second, but since it's a Japanese game, if you like tune it above that, it breaks all the physics in the game.
Oh my god.
And it fucks it all up. So like there's all these people that are trying to figure out a way to get around that. I don't even have a monitor that will do more than 60 hertz. So I don't this is not a Jeff problem.
Some first world problems is what this is.
Yeah, but apparently they're working on it. There's also apparently a problem where if you hook up an Xbox controller, it forces it to use some kind of like PlayStation API in Steam that like lowers the frame rate. So there's like another script injector you've got to run. Yeah, man, PC gaming is like super cool.
It's the best.
Everybody should fucking do it. Yeah. I mean, I guess like if I was playing Nier on Steam, I'd be playing it just default at 60 frames per second. I wouldn't care. Or I guess unless the Windows update
didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Killed off. And I guess that would also be if I was able to buy an NVIDIA card right now, because I want to use it for what it was intended for, not crypto mining.
Yeah.
Good news, though, Michael. Speaking of fixing stuff,
okay.
Your favorite game of all time, Marvel's The Avengers, is getting an update.
I keep playing it. I can't stop.
Really?
I keep going back to it.
Are you playing the Tachyon event?
I was.
Oh my god.
Well, not entirely. I finally reached a level where I could do the original Tachyon mission. So I did that.
Okay.
Because I finally did the last Avenger standing, which gives you the last cutscene.
Well, last week, the head creative designer left, but we got news this week that Brian Wagner is going to be coming on to help fix Avengers, and he was the guy that was one of the leads on Marvel Heroes.
I like that game a lot.
Which that was the one that like Cargill just would never shut up about, right? It was like kind of Diablo-ish.
Yeah, it was like this Diablo-ish type game.
But it was also
a
multiplayer.
Lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it had so many great things in it. Like there was a Spider-Man costume that you could buy that had the 90s Spider-Man voice actor as the character. It was really cool. I played it a lot before it shut down because they made a version of it for consoles. That was a lot of fun. And then just one day there was like, we got shut down because Disney pulled the license at that point. So
I think that was the one where it was like they listed it and then they like relisted, because when it first came out it was all buggy and broken. It had a real mixed review, and then they relisted it on Steam as Marvel Heroes Omega, and it had like universally positive reviews because they fixed so much of it.
They'd fixed the shit out of it because I played the original one and it was buggy as fuck.
Yeah.
And then when they re-released it, they fixed like damn near everything, and it lasted a while on PC.
I really like the quote that he put out here where he says, one of the things that convinced me to take the job was the leadership of Crystal Dynamics telling me to give them honest feedback about the game and its issues, and telling me that there were no egos in the room. I did, and they were very receptive to my suggestions. I mean, like, it'd be nice if there was somebody who knew what the fuck they were doing to fucking fix that fucking game.
It'd
because
be nice,
it's got potential. It's just,
it's got a lot of potential. Like that's the thing, is I keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm just like, I'm just done playing this game, I'll go back to it and just like, Captain America's really fun to play. It's kind of thing.
I mean, the mechanics are fine. It's just like the levels and enemies are repetitive.
Yeah,
like super fucking repetitive. Like,
which is why I think one of the main reasons I keep going back, because there's like such large gaps in between me doing that.
Yeah.
So I get over the repetitiveness of it, and then I'm just like, oh, this is fun again, and then I hit that wall again, and then I stop, and then I go back to it.
Aimbots.
Yeah, like but I keep having fun with it though. It just makes me want it to be a good game still.
I mean, I think like, I still think that if they would have just taken most of that multiplayer horse shit and just made a single player campaign that was far longer than it was, that it would have been fine, because I liked the single player campaign of Avengers.
The issues I always have is the fact that they could have made the campaign longer, and they really needed to add more villains. That's really the main issue.
Oh, yeah. So many villains in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
That's some more.
It's like 60 years worth of Avengers comics, and they used 3 or 4 people at most, and you can only fight 2 of them over and over.
Taskmaster, Michael.
Yeah.
You gotta fight Taskmaster.
Taskmaster survives the future, so you gotta fight Taskmaster again.
Taskmaster,
the master of tasks. This is a new villain.
Hopefully, we'll be seeing good stuff from that. I mean, I would like that game to be good.
Yes, I don't want
any
to be
game
really
bad.
good. And it on PS5, the load times are really low, so I'm having a good time.
Yeah. But we also got the announcement that we're going to be seeing the DC Fandome is going to come back in October.
Oh.
So, yeah, hopefully we'll see.
Hopefully it's worth it, because last year's Fandome was kind of just meh.
Was that the one where they announced the games? Where they announced Suicide Squad just Suicide Squad versus the JLA and Marvel Knights?
They announced some of that stuff there.
What was it? Gotham Knights.
Yeah, Gotham Knights. I think if I remember, they announced some of it there. I think they only announced.
Yeah, it says last year's event in this article.
All I remember was that those were the only really interesting things that came out of it. Like they didn't even announce Harley Quinn season 3 there.
Oh yeah,
that was the thing. Like they hadn't even renewed it yet, and I remember being kind of underwhelmed from it. Like there's one really cool thing they did was they did this they redid a Superman radio show.
Oh
with
yeah,
Tim Daly as Superman again and all this stuff. It was really cool, but for the most part,
that was where they had the first Suicide Squad teaser, right? With James Gunn, where it was just the characters kind of portraits.
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think that Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I don't know. Like I've really between Harley Quinn and the James Gunn thing, and they kept shoving Suicide Squad in my face, and I kind of like it now.
That's the thing. Well, Suicide Squad has always been a really cool set of characters, or the one done well.
Yeah.
But issue just comes down to the main thing where it's man, I just want a Justice League game. It's just the fact that they keep not giving me a Justice League game is kind of frustrating.
But Michael, what if Superman was evil? What if Superman was evil?
Somebody I don't remember. I think it was Variety. Variety actually wrote an article, and they're like, "Why are there so many evil Supermen?" Because somebody finally noticed outside of Superman fans.
Yep. All right, we got some trailers this week. Lost Soul Aside got a new 18-minute gameplay trailer. For anybody that doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, that was the game where a few years back we saw, and it was a third-person action game in Unreal that was being made by one dude in China, and everybody was like, God damn, this looks good for a fucking one dude in China game.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, it still looks pretty good for a one dude in China game.
Yeah, it really does. I'm surprised every time I watch the footage of this. I'm like, man, this is actually looks kind of neat.
Yeah. Lots of particle effects. I mean, a lot of this is just this is one of those things that I wonder, right? Like we were talking about Bright Memory, right? Where as the Unreal Engine gets better, I mean, it's possible that this could almost, I mean, I don't think it is, but between Unreal's ability to buy assets on their store, the fidelity of their engine, and how ubiquitous it is, you can kind of make stuff like this now as an indie dev.
That's the interesting thing about the way game development has progressed. Is that it's getting closer to the way indie filmmaking is. Yeah, where it's you have easy access to all these really nice cameras and stuff. It's now gaming has that sort of idea, and you can get some really cool stuff if you work with it well enough.
It's interesting. This trailer is very much we were talking about before. It's been described all over the place as a mix between Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry, and it really looks like that.
It really does, which I think is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm gonna look forward to that at some point. Let's see. We got a launch trailer for Returnal, which I've been very excited for, especially because I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I'm glad to see that Housemarque is finally getting what I consider to be the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah, this is really the first big PS5 game, I think, and I think that's kind of interesting.
2021. In 2021.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there's got to be something else, right?
No, but I mean like the one that everyone that was only a PS5.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the first this looks kind of next gen-ish kind of thing, and this is the thing, and I'm very excited about that fact.
Well, apparently one of the things I was reading in one of the descriptions for it was that apparently it's 60 frames per second and ray traced. Which,
oh wow!
I think that. I think we had those early games that were where you had to choose, but I get the feeling that as we move forward, it's going to be like, no, they all do this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Spider-Man got the update, right? Miles Morales got the update to do both.
Yeah, and so did even the remaster they did for the PS4 one.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this looks good. I can't wait to play it. Fucking space horror souls. This is right up my alley. So
I'm really excited to try it out eventually.
It kind of reminds me of that Giger game, the one that isn't out yet. But and you know what? We don't have that many trailers this week because the only other one that I saw outside of, like Monster Hunter, Ratchet and Clank and stuff we already talked about was they put out kind of a big MiHoYo trailer. I still am. Well, I'm still a little baffled by this just because. Are there Miis on the Switch?
There are.
Okay, because it didn't shove it in my face and make me make one, and then put my Mii face on everything.
Yeah, because I don't think you need to. Or at least you. You can still make it, but I think you can just do it real fast.
Okay.
I have one that I made on mine. I think it was the picture for mine for a bit.
I like the fact that apparently they've got a lot of different new options for Miis to make them look even more horrifying and crazy. I kind of like the idea of getting everybody that I know from Rage Select who has a Switch to make a Mii, and then when we play this game, I'm just going to be like, if you've got a Mii, I'm bringing it in. I'm going to make you guys all part of this party.
I definitely have a Mii, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got a little bit of news that Judgment came out last week on the Xbox and Stadia and PS5. But there's also a countdown clock on the website that's counting down to May 7th, and it says Judgment Day. And so what I'm hoping is Terminator 2 Judgment crossover.
It's only going to be John Connor, though, specifically. It's going to be Ed Furlong now.
Oh, God.
Not him then.
I take it all back. No, I take it all back. I don't want that anymore. I say...
See, you're his parole officer?
Oh, my God.
And then you got to find him.
Skip tracing fucking John Connor.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Also, by the way, this is
you're a lawyer, sir. You're his lawyer. That's the difference. Yeah.
This is just another good advertisement to be like, hey, everybody, fucking play Judgment. It's only $40, and if you want to get into that, it also looks damn good on PlayStation 5. I put a video today with Matt where there wasn't a lot out last week, so we're just like, because fucking Friday, Returnal and Pokemon Snap both come out, so but this week, nothing. You know what came out this week? The PlayStation 5 version of Genshin Impact. And I downloaded it, and I was like, if I can start this game over, maybe we can do Genshin Impact Redemption Arc. And then I hit the start button, and it just loaded to where Matt and I rage quit on the PS4, and I was like, well, then go fuck yourself.
Not doing this one again.
And I looked it up, and you cannot reset your progress in that game.
That's amazing.
Well, because it gives you some kind of gotcha roll at the beginning, and they don't want people to just keep making an account until they get a good roll. But I want to make an account because I didn't pay any fucking attention to the game because it was so generic. I want to start over.
That's interesting.
No.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So, anyway. Let's see. Knockout City is going to be on the on Game Pass on day one. That is
that dodgeball?
Mm-hmm. It's a dodgeball game where you can turn into a ball and your friends can throw you at other people and get a big open world battle royale dodgeball game.
That's definitely the type of game that needs to be a Game Pass game.
Absolutely. Rocket League. Fuck that game so much.
Rocket League was a PlayStation Plus game originally when it came out.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. That's how I got it.
They sure didn't come out before that? They sure didn't come out for money before that?
No. When it first came out, at least on PS4, it was a PlayStation Plus game.
Why did I pay money for it then?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That might have been way after the fact.
Well, speaking of games that you might question why you paid money for them, Michael, your favorite game is coming to the PlayStation 4.
We just talked about Avengers.
No, your other favorite game. Godfall.
Oh, jeez.
It's going to PlayStation 4.
That's close.
Godfall had a PS5 PC exclusivity deal for 6 months.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We're 6 months in, so...
Shit, it has been 6 months, huh?
Yep. So, yeah, if you've got a PlayStation 4 and you want to play... You know what? In some cases, Michael, I'm really glad that people like Borderlands because Gearbox just keeps trying to do other things and everybody just keeps going, nah. I mean, who do you know that's excited about Godfall?
I don't know anyone that we know that also knows what Godfall is. Just make another Duke Nukem, Gearbox. Then like, I will at least be excited.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's if you have a PlayStation 4. If you have a PlayStation 5, so Jedi Fallen Order got an upgrade to the past gen versions on next gen systems.
Oh.
But apparently, they are planning on doing a full on PS5 and Xbox Series X version that's going to come out this summer. It's going to have all kinds of enhancements.
Maybe they'll make me like it more.
Probably not. I mean, I'm not going to go back and play it again. I saw how that story ends, and boo. So
I thought it was just an okay game. Like I knew so many people. They're like, it's the best. I was like, I didn't really like it the way they did.
Neither did I. I thought that it was just like. I mean, I know that Star Wars games have been garbage for a long time, but like this is acceptable.
Yeah, it was fine.
Not much more than that. Let's see. So I put these in the wrong order. Somebody, though, recreated, this is actually really interesting, just the opening level, or just the opening area in Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 in Unreal Engine 4, and they, like, revamped it and everything. And it made me wonder, like, why don't they just remake... Why don't they just do the full remake on Dark Forces, right? And make it, like, into a first-person shooter, put the multiplayer on it, like... You know, like a lot of these old LucasArts games, they have great bones, man. You just got to knock down a few walls, put a new coat of paint, put on some new wainscoting. You know, fucking
people will buy them.
People will totally. I bought every one of the dumb. Just like we released Bounty Hunter on the PS4.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I would totally play like a modern FPS remake of Dark Forces, especially Jedi Knight, because that's one where you start out with guns and then end up with lightsabers.
That's true. Yeah.
But they could totally start at the beginning and remaster all those, just make them all glorious and ray trace. Can you imagine what ray tracing coming off a lightsaber would look like?
Oh my god,
it'd be great. It'd be great. And this is like this comparison video that we're watching now is some real kind of like low rent bullshit, but like it's still
really cool.
Looks very good. I mean, the original Jedi Knight is so fucking old.
Yeah.
That like,
well, a lot of these Star Wars games are really, really old. Like some of the ones that people were like, "Oh, that was my favorite Star Wars games." Like, yeah, that came out in like 94.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like,
oh my god, if they did a remake of, it would be Jedi Knight 2. Then they could have that thing where you hit the select button and then you could see the full motion video cutscenes, the horrible green screen full motion video cutscenes. That dude who's Kyle Katarn.
That'd be great.
It would be great.
I'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely great. Let's see. Speaking of great, some archivists have put out there was a Dreamcast Castlevania game called Castlevania Resurrection.
Oh.
That was canceled. And some archivists have kind of gotten together like some old code and slapped it into a ROM that you can actually play online. It is a horrible frame rate. It kind of, I mean, it's a Dreamcast game, so it looks like a Dreamcast game. But it kind of just shows some of the early dev prototype stuff that they did. This was Sonia Belmont, I believe.
Yeah, so if I remember, if this is the one I'm thinking of, it was Sonia, and then I think they also wanted to have a guy named Leon in it. But
Leon Kennedy.
But they never got past that point. They ended up using the Leon name for Lords of Shadow 2, I think, eventually.
Okay.
But it was one of those games that, like, I remember hearing about, but never saw anything for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you can go check that out. And finally, if you run out of stuff to check out, you can also check out Gilbert Gottfried. If you want a good Mortal Kombat experience, you can watch this heavy metal band. Let me make sure to credit them, called Lame Genie, who basically redid the Mortal Kombat, the like 1995 Mortal Kombat song, but they paid. They got a cameo, which is that thing where you can pay celebrities to say stuff and get a recording. They paid Gilbert Gottfried to just say all of the words from the Mortal Kombat song and then splice them into this like super goddamn heavy metal cover.
It's really cool, actually.
And it's really silly because Gilbert Gottfried is obviously just doing this. Like, he took 5 minutes to do this for the paycheck on Cameo.
Yeah.
He has no emphasis. He has no enthusiasm whatsoever. He's just reading off the lines from Mortal Kombat.
My favorite thing is them going all in on the actual music part, and then just using Gilbert Gottfried.
And they're just having this like fucking 50-year-old man just on his deck, like,
it's like what
talking
the fuck?
into an iPhone. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. You can also just go watch it on the internet. I'm kind of surprised this only has 60,000 views,
which is surprising considering like I've been hearing about it all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be something I would like to listen to like recreationally.
I don't think anyone would technically, but it's a great little viral YouTube video.
At the end though, they just have the part where he just
the actual cameo
where he just says all the stuff and reads it off of his fucking iPhone and just standing in front of a wall.
I love how like you can tell he's like straining to see what he's supposed to say.
Yeah. The thing is that when he says Johnny Cage's, like you didn't hear it in the thing, but he says, because they spice it later, where he's like JOHHHHNY Cage.
That explains why it just says Cage in the song.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, and hey, look at that. Well, we got a lot of time.
Okay,
so we got some time. Let's
answer some questions.
Answer some questions. Hey, look at that news. Somebody just said that Invincible got renewed for season 2 and 3.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Good stuff.
The new one. I don't know if the new one came out today or tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow.
Because I know the last one they came out with early on a Thursday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, I'm excited as fuck.
Let's see. I stopped at 3, but I'm going to marathon the rest of them.
It's so good.
I watched all like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I thought was okay. I kind of felt
liked it.
The last 3 episodes were better than the first 3 episodes.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
It really kind of dragged, and there was some stuff in there where it was like, I don't want to go too far down this road, but like I felt that Falcon and Winter Soldier had something it wanted to say, but was just being a little bit too tiptoey about it. It's just like fucking come out and
I could see that.
Say that. A lot of the stuff with the flag smashers, where it was like refugees and displaced people, and like what do nations mean, and corporations, and like this stuff.
I heard there was a cut subplot, so it might have made some of it a little disjointed.
Like I was watching this guy online that does videos about stuff, and he was talking about how like he brought up a very good question about like. I guess it's a spoiler. There is a point in the show where one of the flag smashers dies, and it was like, why isn't it the one that we know and not just like a rando one? Because that would have made the reaction to that death mean more than just like the one rando guy. But anyway.
No, okay, I can kind of see that. Yeah, because apparently there was an entire plot involving a virus.
Oh,
that was originally part of it.
Okay,
which like because there's a point where a character, where like the main flag smasher, they go to this like funeral or whatever.
Yeah,
and that person dies. So it's like the idea was that they were supposed to have originally died from a virus, not just from tuberculosis.
Interesting
kind of thing, and that was where the reason they're stealing medicine at one point, kind of thing. But they were like, yeah, this is literally in the middle of a pandemic. I think we could do that.
It also might have just had a little bit too much going on between, because like. I mean, you think about the characters in that show where it's like Sam definitely has his journey.
He does.
Like Bucky definitely has his kind of PTSD journey that he's going through. And then you've got like what's going on with the Flag Smashers, what's going on with Zemo, what's going on with the new Captain America. And it's like there might have just been a little bit too many. What's going on with Sharon Carter, for that matter?
The Sharon Carter thing, I think, was the only one that I feel like didn't work the way I wanted it to.
I was just entirely unclear about like. I don't know. We're going to get too far into this, but like the Thanos snap happened, and then like when all those people came back, they didn't have a house anymore, or like the people had moved into their homes while during
that's
the snap.
idea. Yeah, that's
and
the
it's just
idea.
Like it was really nebulous to the point of just like, well, okay, but like if those people moved into their houses, then there would still be like houses. I mean, this seems like a housing problem, not a like I don't know. There was a lot of nebulousness to me about like what the Flag Smashers, about the whole refugee situation.
I didn't have any. I get a pretty good grasp on what they were saying. It's just the fact that it was like whenever, like I guess just to say this, whenever the snap happened,
yeah,
a lot of different people who had like a lot of different prejudices against each other kind of were just now cool with each other because now they just needed people to keep everything afloat. And so the people moved in, and then everything calmed down. But then everybody came back, and then all the prejudice sort of came back. And so then they were like, well, now we got to put the separation between the things again, kind of thing. So they're kicking people out, and so forth and so forth. Does that make sense?
I feel like it would have been a more interesting situation to have a man who is wrestling with whether he wants to become an icon of America and an ex-soldier with PTSD navigating the realities of what that means to the world and what that means to refugees, instead of just like, now we've got a bunch of Captain Americas to punch.
Yeah, that is kind of the only weird thing about the Flag
I feel like maybe it should have been more serious and less flying around and punching people with metal arm.
No, that's fair.
I don't know. Anyway, let's do some questions. Vanish Knight says, hello, Jeff and Michael. Critical thinking question. For some people, a Metroid game should be a 2D platformer instead of a 3D game like Metroid Prime. Is the core of a Metroid game about the design, 2D versus 3D, or its idea and character, such as exploration upgrades that has Samus? Sincerely, Vanish Knight.
That's a tricky one because one of the main things that Metroid was known for a long time was the 2D exploration. That's why the reason things were called Metroidvanias was because Castlevania fused that together with what Metroid did originally. And so that's why before that it was just Metroid stuff. Like the thing about Metroid in general though is that they've made Metroid games already without Samus in them at this point. Like that had happened. They made that one multiplayer one for the 3DS.
Federation Force.
Yeah. So it's tricky with Metroid, but I think the thing that makes us think about Metroid, especially me and Jeff specifically, is the 2D exploration, like fun little thing with it. Because the 3D version I get, but it's you lose something when it comes to like only being in the first person, I think. Because you don't really get a good grasp of like looking at Samus as well as this like memorizing certain areas, I think. I don't know.
So, you know what I think is really interesting is I'm not the biggest fan of the Prime series.
Yeah.
But I think that some of that is just the fact that it is fully first person.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like you lose something with it just being only in first person.
It's very constrictive because like I don't know if this is something I've gone into before, but like I think that one of my favorite Metroidvania games, I mean, not like, a lot of the other ones are way up there.
Yeah.
But like if you're talking about non-2D, like one of my favorite Metroidvania games is fucking Arkham Asylum. Because I think that Arkham Asylum is totally a Metroidvania. The main thing I think with Metroidvania games is that you get tools that are also like weapons and power-ups, right?
Yeah.
You get like the rockets that allow you to beat enemies faster, but also access this area that you couldn't get to before. Or like in Batman, you get like, the gadgets, right? You get a new gadget that allows you to fucking like you can put a bomb down in combat and blast some dude, or you can spray a little bat on a wall because you got to make it a bat and then blow it up to get into the fucking medical building, right? So I think that it can be done. I just don't think I've seen that many good implementations of a 3D Metroidvania, which is why I would probably lean more towards the opposite. Also, towards saying it should be 2D or at least side-scrolling. Also, it's a lot easier to, I think, conceptualize of gameplay changes in a 2D environment because it's so basic by default that it's easier to add more things to it and have them be immediately apparent, right? Like a wall run, well, you wouldn't give like a wall run. It would be hard to do a wall run in first person, right? But like that instantly makes sense when you've got an area that you can't get to and now suddenly your character can just fucking like run up a wall as opposed to... Yeah, I don't know. I would say that it's not that it can't be done. It's just that nobody has done it well, or few people have done it well.
Well, that's the thing is that like a lot of places that try to do something somewhat Metroidvania, like they always set it to where like you can still do a lot of that stuff without it.
Yeah,
and so it ends up not really becoming that.
Yeah,
kind of thing because of it. Whereas like Arkham Asylum is Arkham Asylum, Arkham and Arkham City, I think are like perfect examples of doing that really, really well.
Yeah.
Because you'll see something and you'll be like, they're like, I should totally be able to do that. And you do everything you can with what you have.
Yeah.
And you just can't do it. But then they're like, hey, here's the zip line. So if you shoot it from one side to the other side, you can just zip all the way down there.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then it's this epiphany of just like, oh, that thing that I saw like fucking 20, 30 minutes ago, like all the way down that way. Now I can do that. Like, that's the fun thing about Metroidvania games is it's discovering the fun little things that you're like, oh, I want that thing real bad, but I can't do it. And then they're like, here's the thing to do it. And then you're like, oh, cool. And then I'll be right back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, fuck you, story. I got to go do this thing real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
And you lose something. You lose that something in first person, I think, because it's harder, like you said, it's harder to remember back to that. Because with first person, everything looks almost the same to you sometimes. Because everything's like in this 3D plane and everything is like right up in your face.
Yeah.
Whereas with Batman, like the reason I think it works with Batman is because that it's the third person and you can remember the different type of space and you can look around better as well from
There's
your
more
sort of
situational
thing.
Awareness in a third person game.
Yeah, and you can do
person.
jumps. You can do jumps and stuff a lot easier that way. Whereas, and the issue I've always had with 3D Metroid games is that you lose something with Samus in general with that, because the fun thing about Samus was how like she's this acrobatic type of character, but with first person you're just like, oh, I'm just Master Chief now. And it's like, but that's not why I like this character.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably somebody who's smarter than me to say the answer. I mostly think that they just haven't. I mean, like I was just thinking while you were talking about how like in Prime, they had the map. And it was just hard to figure out like where am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's like I had the same problem with Jedi Fallen Order, which I think was also kind of a Metroidvania, right? Where you could go.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Right?
One that like kind of did it fairly decently. Because there were moments where you're like, oh, I can't get there, but with this thing, I might be able to.
Yeah,
This
force power will allow me to open up that door.
That one was kind of accidental though, because you actually could access some of that stuff if you broke the game, because the game did have some glitches that you could exploit very easily.
Yeah, I don't know. It also, I think that you have to be careful about the size of the game, because like Arkham Asylum, I think works better than City because it's such a compact. It's like 5 buildings.
Well, it's a perfect little thing,
and the courtyard. Whereas like in Jedi Fallen Order, there were a lot of times where it was just like, wait, okay, first I have to go to the planet that this is on, and then I have to go to the other side of the level that this is on. And
what was the reason I didn't bring up Night? Because Night's really I like Night enough, but the issue with Arkham Knight is that because of the Batmobile, it makes everything that much more annoying.
Yeah. Let's see. Patty Cakes writes in and says, hello, Jeff and Michael. Have you ever watched a movie that scared the crap out of you and which you also thought was important? I recently sat down to watch this 80s original BBC movie called Threads. The movie portrays a nuclear attack by Soviet Russia on the city of Sheffield, England, and follows its characters through the aftermath up to about 15 years after the event. The movie pulls no punches and weaves in a cold, almost college professor-like narrator who occasionally steps in to give context about events and decisions that would have to be made by the people in charge. There's nothing heroic or hopeful in the film. It is really just trying to lay out a worst-case scenario and the effects it would have on human society. I never want to watch it again, but I'm glad I saw it, and I believe that every high schooler should be shown this movie in history class before they come of voting age. Have any movies giving you a similar feeling? If not, the alternate question is just, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen? Best regards, and that's from Patty Cakes. There's actually a movie... The guy online, I watched a thing about it. At the beginning of the pandemic, Steven Soderbergh put out a pandemic movie called like Contagion or something like that. That was it was like it. I don't know anybody who's seen it. I've only ever seen this one guy talk about it. Let me just make sure that's the right one. But it was like,
I was like, I'm not sure if that's the one I'm thinking of or not.
I think let's see. But it's just like. It's got a bunch of people. It's got like Gwyneth Paltrow and Keira Knightley and a bunch of folks like that in it. And it's just kind of this like, it's just this movie about. Oh, can I just get fuck you, Wikipedia? Or maybe it's a different one. Hold on. Okay, I now I'm thinking of a different movie. I think.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find the guy that I was watching. I thought it was Steven Soderbergh. Let's see here. I'm not gonna say stuff out loud. This is good content.
Yeah, it's great content.
Well, it is called Contagion. So
Who made it then?
let's find out. We were seeing. Okay, well, I'm not gonna ask a question where I don't know the answer. So it's a 2011. Oh no, okay, it was back in 2011 that he made it.
I know. I do know this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people actually did keep bringing this up at that time.
Because it's like apparently a very just like dry, like there's no heroism, and it's like a very just flat kind of like this, like Gwyneth Paltrow's character gets this disease, and then it shows the vectors of it happening, and then she just dies.
Yeah, I actually do remember this movie, but there was a people were talking about this movie a lot because they kept talking to the writer of it. I don't remember if it was Steven Soderbergh specifically, but they kept talking to him about it because he did all this research, and he's like, I don't feel good that this movie, is very similar to what's happening, kind of thing.
Right.
He's like, I'm glad the movie people are discovering the movie more and more, but I'm not a fan of the reason why.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And yeah, it is that kind of, because I do remember when that movie came out, because people were surprised that she dies in the film.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting this dumb thing where it's like, they're just going to save her or whatever. Because Gwyneth Paltrow was still a fairly big deal back then. And then, that just sort of happens, yeah.
Look at this. It's like Marion Cotillard, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne, Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kate Winslet, Bryan Cranston, Elliot Gould. Like, fuck's sake. How have I never seen this movie?
Yeah, because she was at like the height of her popularity because of Iron Man. Iron Man 1 and 2 at this point had already been out. So everybody was very much like, Gwyneth Paltrow. And this was before the goop stuff kind of thing.
Yes.
So people were still very like respectful of Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, I do remember that when that came out, but I forgot about it until people started bringing it up again recently.
I never watched. It came out between The Informant and Haywire.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember people saying Contagion was pretty good, but I never saw it myself, but I remember hearing about the fact that they killed the Paltrow in it. You're like, oh shit, that was crazy at the time.
Yeah. I watched this guy do a video essay on it online, and I was just like, that's interesting. I do not want to watch that right now, because that came out, like the video essay making me aware of it came out like, I don't know, a month in, like when we were all still very, very having a time.
That's the thing is, like, I'm not too sure about something that I watched that scared me that was like important, I guess. I don't know. There was something. The problem is I don't think I can remember what it was anymore specifically.
I think I think that the Jordan Peele movies probably kind of fall into that category a little bit for me about, I don't know, movies that are like good movies but also get you thinking about stuff and the answers that you come to here and just like, goddamn.
That's a tricky one because like honestly the movie that scared me the most, it's not an important film, I guess. Recently was there's this movie on Shudder from, I want to say like South America. I can't remember where it's from, but it's called Terrified, and it fucked me up.
Really?
Kind of thing. Because I saw it on accident because this was like, I want to say 3 years ago. Chris was doing this every now and then, like Chris during Halloween. Chris was at his house was showing a bunch of just horror films.
Yeah.
And I showed up in like the middle of it.
2017.
Yeah, I showed up in like the middle of it, and it scared the fuck out of me.
Wow.
Because the visuals of it are like really fucked up, and they don't really like, and it's just, and the way like some of the horror elements happen, especially the third act. The third act is just this fucked up like thing where they're like,
I've never heard about this before.
Like they're finally like, because like I don't remember the main plot, because that's the thing is like for some reason like I always think about this movie even if I don't remember the main plot of it anymore. But it was just one of those. There's so many sequences in the third act that just fucked me up. Like I can still remember like vividly, kind of thing, and it's really good. And I was planning on watching it again last year, but my roommate ended up watching it while I wasn't there. Or not the year before that. I think it's the year before that I planned on watching. But yeah, he watched it while I was either I wasn't there for some reason or I was working. I can't remember. But I remember being kind of annoyed because I really wanted to watch it again.
It's weird. I was just trying to think. I don't get scared all that much at horror movies anymore. Because I get more scared at games because I'm controlling them.
Oh, okay.
And it's like direct input, whereas like I can't do anything about what's happening on the screen. I do remember though. I think I've brought this up once a million years ago on the podcast, but like there was this fucking Julianne Moore movie called The Forgotten, where she's on like it's like her kid disappears, right?
Yeah.
And spoiler alert for a movie that came out like in the 2000s. It's aliens. It's actually aliens have abducted her children, and they're abducting children and they're like colonize the earth. It's kind of a they live situation. But like the first, I don't know, like 2/3 of the movie is just her trying to find her kid and running around, and there's like these kind of secret skeezy dudes like watching her, and you're not sure what's going on. And there's a part where this guy, or she like finds the facility where her kid is, and this guy just like screams in her face, and he goes, "Forget!" And like as he's doing that, his face morphs into this fucking alien face, and like the whole movie, I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know it was aliens. Yeah. It was just like, what the fuck is this movie?
Well, the trailers don't tell you that, because I do remember that movie. Like that is one of those movies that you're just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Also, there's this other, just it's a still frame. I don't even want to look at it, but I'm going to tell you, this shit haunts my dreams, and I maybe need to watch this movie. I don't know what this movie is, where there's like, okay, it's this weird movie where it's like this guy, and he meets this other, it's him. He's like meets this guy who's like he's like the same actor. And then
you're thinking of
and
the hell's the Jake Gyllenhaal film?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
God, I don't want to like this. But then, like at the end, it's like one Jake Gyllenhaal kills the other Jake Gyllenhaal, and then he gets his wife. And then the very last scene of the movie is he like leaves the room, and he comes back in, and the wife is now just a giant spider huddling in the corner. And that's like the end of the movie. And I've seen the picture of the spider, and I don't want to watch the movie.
Well, the thing is, the movie has nothing to do with that entire. Like that's the thing. I remember when that came out because I remember Corey and everyone just being like, "What the fuck just happened?" kind of thing. Because people don't like, they were just like, "What the fuck?
Is there a giant spider?
What the fuck is this?" Like they didn't know why. Like I read so many things about the ending. People trying to explain why the fuck there's just a giant fuck off spider.
It's like a metaphor.
Because there's a bunch of like spider things like throughout it, but it's never like a giant fucking spider kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just sort of happens, and you're just like, what the fuck? I think it's Nemesis or something like that.
Is it?
I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Enemy?
Enemy. Yeah, I think it's Enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Enemy.
All I know is that I saw just like a GIF of giant room-sized spider backing up into a corner, and I'm just like, oh god,
because my favorite thing about my favorite thing, if you watch the ending, is like he opens the door and he sees it, and he has this look of just like, I guess
girlfriend's a spider
kind of thing.
I'm out.
And it just sort of ends, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. All I know is that I don't like spiders. Like sometimes when I try to go to bed at night and I try to just fill my brain with images to go to sleep, sometimes my brain is just like, spiders. And I'm like, no, brain, I have to go to sleep. It's like, what if there's a big one crawling on your back right now? And we're talking like the size of a dog big. And I'm just like, no, brain, I have to go to sleep. And then brain's like, but spiders. And I'm like, fine. Then I'll die, and the spiders will wrap me up in their web and eat me until I die, brain. My brain's like, well, still, here's pictures of spiders, and I'm like, "Fuck you, brain! I'm going to sleep."
I can't think of a horror or something, not horror, but like something that scared me that was like an important thing. I guess I've never really. I don't know.
Again, let's not go too far down this particular road, but like, I guess
Chernobyl was the thing that freaked out a lot of people.
2020 was the kind of thing where like, I don't know that you could make something that's more terrifying than fucking Twitter is right now.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
Just the news. Like you're reading the news going like, there's a pandemic, and like
the entirety of 2020 was
like,
that. Yeah,
people don't want to put on their fucking mask to go into Walmart for some fucking reason, and like I don't need a horror movie. No. I'm living in a fucking horror movie. Yeah, I can't go outside or fucking do anything.
was the whole thing. Yeah, I'm like 2020 was the ultimate like. That's probably why I can't remember, because 2020 fucked up my memory. Fucked up a lot of people's memories.
It's like a blur.
Yeah.
It's like the longest and shortest year of everybody's life collectively.
I keep like seeing Facebook memories. I'm like, oh, that was the thing that happened.
Yeah. It was weird. Anyway, let's do some Discord questions. We can only do a few of each. I don't have a whole thing. I'm trying to think of where did I leave off? Where did I leave off?
I have no idea.
Where did I leave off? Let's see. I'm playing the Divisions with Outriders. Okay, we did that one. I've been playing Subnautica. I've been too engrossed. Was there ever a game that you never had an Oh, okay. This one might work for you. I don't know if it really works for me.
Oh, yeah.
Persia King says, hey, Jeff and Mike. So for the past couple of days, I've been delving into the depths of Subnautica, thanks to the PlayStation Store offering the game to download for free as part of their buy/try monthly offering for PlayStation owners. Hey, wow, this one even comes from this month. It was the beginning of this month, but it's still this month.
That's nice.
I've always had a passing interest in the game, but never had a good enough computer. And by the time it was initially released in 2018 for the PS4, I was too engrossed in God of War, Red Dead 2, Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, and Shadow of the Colossus. But thanks to the dry spell we're currently having and the fact that it was free on the PlayStation Store, I found myself absolutely having a blast loving the game. So my question is this: was there ever a game you love nowadays that you would have never played had Xbox or PlayStation not offered it for free? See, the problem with this is that I literally write the games off my taxes and I buy a billion games a week.
Yeah, you buy just fucking everything.
It's stupid. It's stupid the number of things that I buy.
I'm trying to think of the ones that I definitely like what it was. I know Rocket League was one that I got for free that I did play eventually. But it wasn't one that I'm like, oh, I love this game. It's like, I know there was one that I did get that was free. Maneater is one that I'm really liking right now.
Yeah.
That I got for free recently. God, yeah, that's a tough one. That I'm trying to remember the exact things that I got for free necessarily.
Did you get Hitman when it was on PlayStation Plus?
I did, but I didn't play it as the thing.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, because that's the thing is there's a lot of games that eventually were free that I'm glad that I got, but I never really played kind of thing. I'm just trying to think of the games that I got for free that I know for a fact that I ended up just playing the shit out of.
I think this might be a bad question for you too, because I feel like whenever I ask what you're playing, like there's a good 50% chance it's just some old game.
It's just some old game I wanted to play anyway.
Like you're not chasing the news. Maneater was good though.
Yeah, Maneater's a really good one. Yeah. That did come. There was one on Game Pass that I do remember trying. Actually, it was Broforce.
Oh,
not on Game Pass, but it was. I think it was a free PlayStation Plus game.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I probably wouldn't have spent the money on it. But I really fucking love that game.
Broforce is great.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
A lot of beat 'em ups. You know, like Streets of Rage 4 was a great example of that.
Very good. And I mean, I would have bought it anyway.
Pass, but that game's fucking great.
Really good. I'm so happy those guys are doing that new Ninja Turtles.
God, that game looks fucking great. I'm so fucking excited to get that game.
You saw the gameplay from what was a week or two ago?
I did.
They actually had the whole gameplay thing, and it was just like, this is just fucking.
My favorite thing about it is that everyone has their own specific run cycle.
Yeah.
And just I can't wait to fucking play that game, guys. You have no idea how excited I am about that game.
Get you and Matt Frank, and who's the fourth Ninja Turtle? Who's the fourth? We need 4 people to play all 4 Ninja Turtles.
Well, which one would you use?
I don't care. Use whatever.
Because I think that's really that's the hardest thing about getting 4 people is because there's always that one guy who's like, I wanted to use that one kind of thing. At least when it comes to certain people. Like with me and my brothers, all 4 of us have a specific turtle, so we've never had that fucking issue.
All right.
With all 4 of us, because it's always me as Leo, my brother Sham is Donnie, my brother Danny is Michelangelo, and my brother Jer as Raph. Like all 4 of us have our specific turtle. We even used to talk about getting a tattoo but we never did.
All right. Ninja Turtle tattoos.
We fucking love Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. So
I know there's some games on there. It's just the problem is I can't remember because, like I said, 2020 was a blur, and that was the time I did that.
Yeah, I'm always glad when games are on there. I mean, I guess there are probably some games like that maquette game that came out that Amanda and I played, where it was like the very like you get a little model and you're moving stuff around. It's like kind of a little romantic game.
The Witness was one that I remember.
Okay.
I know was free recently that I remember kind of liking, but I didn't get very far in it.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's hard to remember what I got for free and what I didn't.
Yeah.
Because nowadays I also buy stuff for the most part. And even back in the day, I traded stuff in. Like, I rarely got that many things for free back then. And the Game Pass and stuff is a fairly recent thing. So I know there's something. I just can't. We play a lot of games at Rage Select, so that also fucks up my memory.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, shout it out. Let's do some more of these. IT Johan says, hello, Jeff and Michael. What superpower would you love to explore through game mechanics? Teleportation, kinetic absorption, multiplying, cloning, absorbing yourself on the fly? What? Your loyal patron, IT Johan.
I do like the idea of more games that let you multiply your character. That's what I loved in Super Mario World was the cherry.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you just have shit tons of Marios running around.
You know what? I'm a big I fucking once I got the goddamn floating flight mechanic in control, like I didn't want to walk anywhere, man. Like that was such a good implementation because it wasn't full flight.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to dick around with changing your control schema, but it still lets you float over the battlefield, fucking shooting people in the face, which was great. I mean, honestly, I would like somebody to make this goes back to Michael and I talk about all the time, but I honestly think that you could probably make a Superman powers style game. It doesn't have to be Superman, but flight, strength, all that stuff. But it would take somebody really good to suss out those mechanics to make them all feel good. Because I don't. Were
That's
you
a tricky thing? Yeah.
When we played that one that was like that Steam game where you were just basically Superman in a business suit?
Yeah. Well. No, we did the guy in the black shirt and the sunglasses.
Oh yeah. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, I remember doing that one with you.
But it didn't feel super good.
It felt okay. It was a nice attempt, is the thing, and the guy was doing it for a project, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
So you'd have to have somebody good do it. I mean, to go back to what we were talking about before. I think that's one of the reasons that Arkham Asylum is so well remembered is that I don't know if they were the first people. I'm sure there was some other game that did it, but that combat worked so well for Batman because it made you feel like such a fucking badass.
Well, it's
hard enough.
It was the way the rhythm that really sold it. Because I remember reading an interview with them years ago where they're like, yeah, the idea that we had came from the rhythm Guitar Hero games.
Mm-hmm.
They're what if you just did that but while you're punching punching things, and that's how that came to be. I remember it being really the one that did that. I can't think of any game prior to that was that sort of outside of a beat 'em up kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know, there probably was some progenitor. I mean, there's always the kill dot switch to your Gears of War.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, it's just that it's the one that I know that perfected it.
Yeah.
The problem is like I said, I can't think of anything that did it similarly outside of a way a beat 'em up is.
Oh man, that same combat style. It worked so well in Shadow of Mordor.
Oh yeah,
it was so
100%.
Fucking satisfying. But what was great about Shadow of Mordor, what Shadow of Mordor did that I feel like both Batman and Assassin's Creed, which are the other big ones, didn't do, was that Shadow of Mordor, it was the same, but you could still get real fucked up in Shadow of Mordor. You die. You die all the time in Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, I just remembered answers to the other two.
Oh.
One is the first is Mass Effect, but I've told the story of how I played Mass Effect before, which was that I lived with a friend who bought it used at GameStop because back then Mass Effect 2 hadn't come out by that point. So there were just giant bins of Mass Effect 1 back then.
Oh right.
So you could buy it for really easy. So I had no interest in it until my friend bought it, and then I started playing it. I became addicted to it. The other one is Assassin's Creed 2 because I don't remember why. I think it was one of the first free Xbox Live games. I think was Assassin's Creed 2.
Xbox Live. Oh yeah, because they did that eventually.
Yeah, because it wasn't something that was
games with gold.
Yeah, games with gold. I think it was one of the very first ones, or if not, it was just some random reason for it to be free. But I literally never would have played it if it was, because I thought Assassin's Creed 1 was just okay.
It was just okay.
But then Assassin's Creed 2 just blew my fucking mind. And it was and it was free. And it was the first time that ever happened to me at that point. For some reason, it just popped in my head that was the thing that I did. Sorry that I get sidetracked on that.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
But that is the answer to the last one, was those specific games. And I became addicted to Assassin's Creed for a bit, and then 3 happened, and that fucked the whole thing up. Same with Mass Effect 3, ironically enough.
Well, there you go.
What was this question?
What superpower would you like to explore through game mechanics?
I want more running ones, to be honest. Like, I want a game like where you're like the Flash kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I love that idea of just super speed and slowing stuff down and just traversing with that sort of run. Because every time a game gives me the ability to like run real fast, I'll just do that for like hours.
Well, also, I mean, it's been proven that slow-mo is great in video games.
Yeah.
So, actually, you think of Batman Arkham Combat, but with the ability to hit like a dedicated button to slow down.
So like Beautiful Joe. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
I would love that.
You know what? I'm not gonna go too much to this, but I do just got me thinking about gameplay mechanics and how well certain gameplay mechanics are really implemented in games, and it just got me thinking about how fucking satisfying for like 30 hours the fact that God of War has a dedicated button to get my axe back.
Oh my God.
And it feels so fucking good through the entire game.
It's like you have this such euphoric thing, especially when the fact that you can hit enemies on the way back with it. And you're just like, I'm gonna throw that, stand over here, and then
punch this guy, and I'm gonna freaking use my shield, and then whatcha!
Yeah, God of War is so good, guys. Actually, the God of War is another good answer for that. I never would have originally played God of War until my friend lent me the original God of War.
Oh,
because I didn't have any money for that sort of thing at the time.
Well, I thought you were gonna say that you would never have played the 2018 God of War if it wasn't for you and I doing a sequential.
No, that I had planned on doing eventually, but I didn't have the money at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more question. Call Me Mo says, hey, Jeff and Michael, I've been playing a lot of Hitman in the last few months and have been loving it. I just got done with Berlin, and the way it drops you into the level without any information on the targets or any of your gear was a neat twist. Also, I've been enjoying your Hitman 3 sequential, and I'm always learning new things about these games. So my question is, if IO hired you to make a new themed level for a future Hitman game, what would it be? And how would you eliminate your targets? I think there should be a moon-based themed level or a space station. Thanks for all the content. Hope you have a great week. And that's from Call Me Mo. I do not hope there's a space station. The Hitman is still somewhat grounded.
No, that's fair, yeah. I would want an arcade level. Like just arcade machines and stuff.
You know what would be interesting, would be a great way, a great place would be have an arcade, but you got to think bigger. Have a mall.
A mall, like just straight up a
mall level.
Yeah, I guess that's
because they like the way they put the detail in all the little individual places.
That would be pretty cool.
And
actually,
then you have like maybe it's like the biggest the biggest mall in North America. This one has a roller coaster. There've been a lot of maintenance on it recently. 47.
You can also do a lot of Mallrats references. Just to like kill a guy by getting him stuck in the elevator.
Yep. Yeah.
The escalator.
Glass elevator that goes up and down. Yeah, there'd have to be a way to kill somebody with the escalator.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like
it's stuck on that fucking escalator again.
Like some kind of context sensitive thing where you can distract a guy and then like untie his shoes, and then when he goes down the escalator,
he just like fucking breaks his leg and then falls down.
You know what it'd have to be is you'd have to go underneath. There would obviously be like a below back level, and then like you use the wrench to tweak the escalator, and then you stand by the switch, and then when he's coming down you do it so that he literally gets fucking like eaten by the escalator, like you were always afraid of happening when you were a kid. Like this escalator's out of order, but first you have to get the construction guy and then like take the sign off.
Man, this sounds great.
Yeah, mall would be a great level.
A mall would be a fantastic level.
Yeah. Because think of all the different shops that you could like assume the identity of working there.
Guy.
Yeah.
Serve him a poison pretzel, chocolate covered pretzel.
I really love the big city levels. I love Sapienza. I love Whittleton Creek, which is just like the suburban level.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to have they've kind of had a level like this before, but it might be interesting because they've had levels where it's like here's a city, and in the city here's like the India level has like a skyscraper that has multiple stuff, but it might be really interesting to do something kind of like the bank level, except make like a skyscraper where there's like 40 levels and each one of them has like different apartments. I mean, it's like mezzanine level and then like some shops and then like some apartments that go up and then like the penthouse, and you have to like go between the different levels, elevator action style.
That'd be difficult, but I that would be really cool.
Or maybe just like one big building.
Yeah.
I guess I always hate it when it's just one big building. Like I hated the hotel level. The Bangkok was okay. I really didn't like Paris, and that was just like a big chalet mansion. You know what I like is when a Hitman level has a lot of different little areas that are all very different.
Oh, okay.
So when it's like the Paris fashion show, and it was like, here's the mansion, and then here's the outdoors, and here's where the fashion show is, but it's all in the mansion.
Yeah.
Whereas in Sapienza, it's like, here's the street performer, and here's the church, and here's the graveyard, here's the sewers, here's the stores, here's the coffee shop, and here's the underground lab where they're making crazy shit. Like, here's a castle with a cannon, and if you time it right, you can shoot that cannon at that guy and kill him. I like it when there's a large diversity of levels. So
I can see that.
Those are my favorites usually. Like Whittleton Creek is just like 2 blocks of a suburban neighborhood, and there's just something in every house. Something fucking crazy is going on in every house. So, yep. I think that's it.
A mall one would be fantastic, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with mall, or water park. I mean, obviously,
a water park would be pretty great. Gotta ride all the slides.
I just wanted to do 47. Like all the outfits are just different swim trunks. You know,
I like it for the outfits from fucking It's Always Sunny when they go to the park.
I want there to be the one where he has to just like
it's in the pool, guys, out of the pool.
There's one where he has to just stand there and be like, go. Go.
And then when the guy gets in there, he just like smacks him real hard and he drowns.
Yeah, then like he's like, oh no, somebody dropped their ice cream, and all the kids turn around and you just like slam his face up against the top of the tube and then let him go, and you go. Anyway, that's it. No more talking about Hitman. I could do this for hours. Patreon.com/RageSelect. Michael, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on oneofus.net, where we actually just did a Falcon and the Winter Soldier review.
There you go. Were you on the Mortal Kombat review?
No.
Oh.
I missed it by like a little bit, but I'm
by that much.
Kind of glad that I wasn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, let's stop this podcast and talk about how much Mortal Kombat sucks for 2 hours, and then after that, we can move on to rehashing the Snyder Cut for the 1,000th time. So that's what I'm doing. Bye. Bye, everybody.